Hello and welcome to Kronos Gaming. If you want to have the fastest and the coolest looking mount and additionally to know what your mount is capable of in New World, then tune in because this guide gives you everything you need to know about mounts. Having the fastest and the coolest looking mount definitely adds to the experience, so in the light of just recently reaching 5,000 subscribers, I'll be giving away 3 of my viewers any cash shop mount skin that they choose. To enter the giveaway, subscribe to the channel, like the video and leave me a comment. I'll pick the lucky winners randomly via comments when this video reaches 1000 likes. Good luck! Your ability to travel quickly and efficiently depends on 2 things: the level of your riding skill and what items you have got on your mount. In this video we'll go over acquiring mounts, leveling your riding skill. I'm going to cover everything about the mount charms and trinkets, and I'll also do comprehensive testing to show you all of the speed differences that come from riding skill and charms, and at the very end I'll show you how to cosmetically customize your mount as well. In essence, this video will provide you with enough context to help you make decisions regarding your mount, and through that it will improve your gameplay in New World. But now let's start from the beginning. It all starts once your character reaches level 20. You'll see a new quest appear called Acquire a Mount. The quest is located at the Mount Shoe icon in Everfall. Advance the quest line, spend a few minutes on the My Kingdom for a Horse quest, and upon completing it, you'll receive your very first mount, a horse called Moonshadow. This will be your trusty steed until you get other options. Later on, after advancing in your mount quest line, you'll be able to get different mount types, such as the wolf, which you get once your mount quest line takes you to Great Cleave, and later down the line, you'll get a lion when your mount quest line takes you to Elysian Wilds. There is also a bear mount type and a few others such as the turkey or the fox, but those can be obtained via the cash shop or if a season pass has it as a reward. Alternatively, you can get some skins from the 3 stable masters where you unlock the corresponding mount type. So these stable masters have their own shop where you are able to buy some skins with gold or the cash shop currency. Let's check what the lion vendor next to me has for sale, and then the wolf and the horse one as well. As you can see, the lion skin here costs 50k gold, and it's the only one here, and the rest of them are premium skins. The same ones you can find in the in-game cash shop as well. Now for the wolf, we have this skin that costs 25,000 gold and a bunch of other premium skins as well. And the horse vendor has a skin for 10,000 gold and some premium options below as well. But overall, these are the options we have. All of them cost something, but now with the new Isle of Night raid at Nighthaven, you'll have a chance to get 2 free mount skins as a drop, and if Amazon decides to add any more free skins as a reward from other activities, then I'll put these in the pinned comment under the video. Now that I've covered different mount types and skins and where to get them from, let's head over to the next topic, which is leveling the riding skill, and there we will take a look at the different methods, and we will also get an understanding how important that really is. After getting your first mount, the Moonshadow horse, you'll also unlock the riding skill. You can see that you can get increased mount movement speed at level 50, level 100, 150 and 200, and alongside that you'll get other various trinkets, charms and cosmetics as well. You will very soon see why it's incredibly important to train this skill early on, and there are 2 ways you can train that skill. One option is to give your mount some food. Depending on your riding skill, you can give it different tier foods. The tier 1 basic mount victuals give 1250 riding experience, and you can give this starting from level 1. The next tier mount victuals give 2500 riding experience, and you can also give this starting from level 1. The tier 3 ones, the hardy mount victuals, give 8000 riding experience, and you can give this starting from level 75. And the tier 4 ones, the luxury mount victuals, those give a whopping 28,000 riding experience, and those you can give starting from level 150. And regardless of the tier, you can give your mount food 3 times a day. You might be thinking, maybe if I combine 2 pieces of tier 2 food and then I give it 2 pieces of tier 3 food, maybe I can bypass this. The answer to that is no, you can't. Feeding your mount is cumulative across all tiers. That means you can only give your mount food 3 times per day. Let me show you. So for example, here I gave my mount 1 food before in the intro of the video. And now I'll give it tier 1 food 1 time, and after that I'll give it tier 2 food 1 time. And as you can see, now I'm restricted to give it any more food. Now let's move on to the second option, and that is to do the mount quests. You have 2 different types of mount quests you can do in order to level your riding skill, and both of these are timed events. These are rallies and tours, and you have to do them with your mount. You must complete these successfully within the specified time frame in order to complete the quests. Dying or attempting to teleport will cancel the active race, so be mindful of that. The tours are very straightforward quests where you have to travel from point A to point B, and you can have several minutes or more to complete the tours. You will typically need to race across multiple zones before the timer runs out, and once you reach the end, you get a lot of riding skill experience. The rallies are different from tours. There you need to cross several checkpoints within various time frames. You typically have around 15 to 45 seconds to get to the next point, and crossing the checkpoint will refresh the timer and you'll need to race to the next checkpoint. Do that until you've done them all, and at the end you'll also get a lot of riding skill experience. The lower tier ones give about 15k riding experience per quest, the medium level ones give around 25k riding experience, and the higher level ones give a whopping 50k experience per quest. So doing these is a massive experience gain for a little time spent. Now, unless you accidentally die somehow or auto-run to Narnia by AFKing, it's nearly impossible to not complete the race. These races are really easy and are something that can bring your riding skill to max level within just a few hours if you fully focused on that. Previously I showed you the riding skill base movement speed milestones. Let me show you that again. Those were level 50, level 100, level 150 and level 200. Now let me show you the total riding experience required to reach these levels. Now I'll also put the mount food values here on the side so you can see how much they will give and when you can use the different tiers. And also how much experience these races give relative to if they're lower level races, medium tier races, or high level races. Now to the point that I'm trying to make, in a scenario where you are actively trying to go for the riding skill 200 as fast as possible, let's say you aim to do this within a day, then your best bet is to only use tier 4 food once you get your riding skill to level 150. Using the highest food 3 times will give you the most amount of value towards level 200 and onwards, and using any other tier food before that would give you significantly less. Your best bet will always be doing the races as a priority if you want to get the fastest base mount movement speed. Now I totally get that some people don't have a lot of playtime and feeding your mount is super convenient for you to level it up because it just takes a few seconds and it gives some experience. But hear me out. This is not the best way to train this skill, and you will actually lose effective game time if you train it just by feeding. Well, let me show you side-by-side comparisons. I lined up 2 of my characters, and on the left side is my main account that has 250 riding, meaning it has the highest possible base mount movement speed. For comparison, the right one is a freshly made account with riding skill below level 50, meaning it has no increased mount base movement speed from riding skill. And now, let's see the difference. Both of these are lined up at the same starting point and made to run across the straight road with auto run until the finish line in the other end. No dash or any other trinkets or anything is being used. Now this was a merely 275 meter straight run, and as you can see, The mount base movement speed you get for hitting the riding skill milestones is incredibly important, because the guy on the right side is still riding while the guy on the left already finished. To have a comprehensive overview of the base movement speeds, I trained my other character's riding skill to surpass each of the speed bonus milestones. Initially I leveled it to 71, then leveled it a bit further to 101, and then some more, eventually reaching 151. Doing that on a level 20 was nothing really complicated. I just had to travel to the Mount Quest locations and do the rallies and tours. Generally, if you stay on the road, you'll be fine. Although 150 gives the last speed boost, and in my previous test I already did that with the max level riding skill, I still wanted to be sure, so I did a control run on the other character as well. Initially when planning this video, I didn't think the mount base movement speed difference was that big, but it clearly is. Just to give you a broad perspective of what this means, I've asked around and most people think that they spend anything from 20 to 40% of their active game time on mounts. Let's say an average player clocks in about 100 hours of active game time, and even at the low end 20%, that will still be 20 hours every month spent riding. So below level 50 riding, you're about 20% slower, which is about 4.7 hours of wasted time. Between 50 and 99, you'd still lose about 3.4 hours, and even from 100 to 149, another 1.7 hours gone. So if you don't level your riding skill early or have been slacking on it, you're roughly spending an additional 2 to 5 hours more on riding that could have been used on progression, farming, or other activities. Different charms and trinkets can increase that speed even further and provide you with a variety of other benefits. Currently in New World there are 4 charm and 8 trinket types to choose from, so let's check them all out and then put them to the test. Each trinket and charm has 3 tiers: rare, epic, and legendary. Rare and epic mount items come from Mount Quest progression, and legendary ones come from various elite monsters, elite chests, and mutated dungeons. Before we take a look at where to get them, let's have a look at what options do we have and what do they do. Let's start by checking out the mount charms. Those go in your mount shoe slot. The Redono mount charm increases your dash recharge rate up to 50%. For frequent off-roaders, we have the Solum mount charm, giving you plus 14% off-road dash speed. If you want a little bit more fuel in the tank, then Magis mount charm offers up to plus 50% dash capacity. The Strata charm lets you dash up to 10% faster when traveling on road. Those were the mount charms. Now let's check out what options we have for the trinkets. The Mountaineers charm increases your landing durability by up to 50%. For those often encumbered, the Powerful Beasts of Burden Bangle lets you mount when you're over encumbered by up to 30%. The Fortified Talisman gives 10, 17.5 or 25% fortified status effect depending on the tier, and it lasts for 10 seconds and can be even extended up to 15. This applies for both elemental and physical armor. Status effect will trigger when you get dismounted by other players or NPCs. The Cleansing Talisman does different things depending on the tier. The rare one cleanses 3 debilitate status effects when you get dismounted by players or NPCs. Debilitate status effect means rend, weaken, exhaust, and disease. The epic one cleanses 3 damage over time status effects, meaning burn, bleed, and poison, and the legendary one cleanses both of them. The Empowered Talisman gives 5, 10, or 15% empowered for 10 seconds when forced dismounted. The increased damage buff can be extended to 15 seconds. The Healing Talisman will heal you for 90, 160, or 240 health per second for 10 seconds when forced dismounted. The healing can be slightly increased with incoming healing perks. The Hasty Talisman can give you 10%, 20%, or 30% haste for 3 seconds after you get dismounted, but it can be extended up to 6 seconds. The Cavalier Crest gives you 20, 35 or 50% increase to your mount summoning speed. Those were all of the available items for your mount that can increase mount movement speed or give it some other benefits. I've gathered all of the legendary ones to showcase the differences, and that way we can have an understanding of which one is the best choice for the different scenarios. First and foremost, what interested me the most is that which charm is the best option for on-road traveling and gets you from point A to point B the fastest. I chose a somewhat straight track that is 1.16 kilometers long. That way we can do a significant amount of dashes within this distance, and the track length should be long enough to take into account some minor deviances and give us a good overview at the end. Since the off-road charm that I showed earlier has no effect on the on-road traveling, then we're left with three choices that you see on the screen. The powerful Magis mount charm that gives us increased dash capacity, the powerful Redono mount charm that increases the dash recharge rate, and the powerful Strata mount charm which gives us a nice little boost when dashing. Let's do a little quiz. Which mount charm do you think will cross the finish line first? Let me know down in the comments. Most amount of time traveling on the mount is done on roads, and well, it should be. We do a lot of traveling when doing chest runs, open world PvP, questing and exploring, and using shrines can help to cut the traveling time significantly, but if you don't have them or the end destination is not within a walking distance, then traveling with a fast mount is essential. The base traveling speed is faster in New World on road compared to off-road, so in most cases you would be better off to stay on roads instead of trying to cut significant corners. Same thing applies to when you're moving on foot as well. Staying on road will give you a significant boost in movement speed. We now have 200 meters left until the finish, and it's starting to become apparent which mount charm is the best for longer distances when doing on-road traveling. Each of the charms were strong candidates on being the best one. However, the powerful Strata mount charm takes the win from this one. Redono 2nd place, Magis 3rd place. For the next test, I wanted to know which mount charm is the fastest in off-road traveling, where you need to travel for a longer distance. Here I chose a somewhat linear path that is 660 meters long, and we're going to be testing the powerful Redono mount charm that has the increased dash recharge rate, the Magis mount charm that has the increased dash capacity, and the Solum mount charm that has the increased dash speed when off-road traveling. We'll be using as much dashes as possible. Spending your time traveling off-road for an extended period of time does not happen often, but it is a necessary test to understand which one is the best if you need to do more off-road traveling than on-road traveling. Sometimes when you need to avoid certain paths during open world PvP or doing some resource farming, when nodes are not close to roads, then it might become useful to use a mount charm that fits for that purpose. Which one of these three do you think is gonna win? Let me know down in the comments. The results for this one actually surprised me. I was fairly confident that the Solum mount charm, the one you use for off-road dash speed, will take the cake by a long shot. But interestingly enough, the Magis mount charm was super close behind, so close even that they were almost tied. And the 3rd place goes to the Redono mount charm. And those were the two speed tests for the mount charms to determine which one you should use for on-road and off-road scenarios. So to recap, if you're mostly on-road traveling, then the Strata mount charm is the best, and if almost always off-road, then the Solum mount charm is the one for you. And I'll also mention what I think is the most universal one. This is just my personal opinion. I would go with the Magis mount charm. It's excellent for gathering since you're running from node to node, and also in PvP because generally people do not run this, so you would have an extra 50 stamina on your mount to work with. If you're trying to catch someone or escape, either way, it's beneficial. The Redono mount charm is good for short and medium distances, and Strata is a great option as well. But now let's measure how long time it takes to get to 100 stamina with the Redono and the Solum mount charm. For that we do a full dash. The running time codes you see on the video are Adobe's frame-based time codes, so I converted the values into actual seconds. So for the Redono mount charm we got the fully recharged mount in 7.6 seconds. Now let's switch the mount charm to the other one to see how long it takes for the Solum mount charm to reach 100 stamina after it has been depleted. Once that test is concluded, we'll know exactly how much seconds it will take for all of the other charms to recharge from 0. The base recharge rate to 100 stamina will be the same for the Solum, Strata and Magis Mount Charm. Since for Strata it was 10.9 seconds, then for Magis that gave us 150 stamina, it will be 16.4 seconds. For the next test, I wanted to find out which Mount Charm is the best for gathering if your gathering nodes are in close proximity. The starting point will be next to this elemental lodestone and we'll be dashing north. Firstly, we'll test the Redono Mount Charm, and using the full dash on off-road with a non-off-road charm, we'll cover 50 meters. Next up is the Magis Mount Charm, which allows us to use 150 stamina. Although we already know how much ground you can already cover with 100 stamina with non-off-road charm, I still wanted to show it to make a point. So with one dash, we're able to cover quite a significant distance, 75 meters. Now let's move on to the third charm, and with this one, out of curiosity, I wanted to see how much ground you can cover if you're using the off-road charm. With this we can cover 57 meters. So in conclusion, your best bet for a gathering mount charm is going to be either the increased dash capacity or the increased recharge rate one, depending on the distance you need to travel between nodes. But now let's move on to the trinkets. Those you can equip in the mount strap slot, and they can offer you a variety of different benefits. We've got 8 trinkets to check, so let's start off with the healing talisman. This one gives you a base 240 health per second for 10 seconds when dismounted, and you're able to amplify the healing with incoming healing perks. Here, for example, I use the Ankh amulet. Next up we have the Cleansing Talisman. This one cleanses 3 dot or debilitate status effects when you get dismounted by players or NPCs. Dot or damage over time means status effects such as burn, bleed and poison. As you saw, the dot effect got removed immediately. I'll also show you an example of when debilitate status effects get applied as well. Those, for example, are rend, weaken, exhaust and disease status effects. Next up we have the Powerful Hasty Talisman. This one provides us with 3 seconds of whopping 30% haste, which can be extended to 6 seconds with alacrity perks. For this example, I'll show that I'm trying to escape and the trinket triggers when I get dismounted, and that gives me 4 seconds of haste with the alacrity amulet, enough to create the distance between you and the enemy. Next up we have the Fortified Talisman, which gives us 25% fortified status effect for 10 seconds, which can be extended up to 15. This increases our physical and magical armor, making it incredibly useful in PvP scenarios. Next we have the Empowered Talisman, which gives us 15% empowered for 10 seconds when forced dismounted. Empowered increases your outgoing damage, and that buff too can be increased up to 15 seconds. This trinket too can be extremely useful in PvP scenarios, giving you an instant boost to your damage. Next we have a trinket that lets you mount up when you are up to 30% over encumbered. To showcase, I grabbed some items from the stash and I'm currently close to 30% over encumbered. So normal moving right now would be very slow, and mounting up would be not possible at all without this trinket. This lets me move around without having to drop anything valuable. You can increase the percentile weight you're able to carry even further with the infused encumbrance potion, which temporarily increases your weight that you're able to hold by another 500. This makes transporting items really easy. The powerful Mountaineers pendant gives you 50% increase to landing durability. First, let's unequip the trinket to show you the normal landing durability, and after that, we'll drop from the same height but with the trinket to show you the difference. As you can see, falling down and getting dismounted happens really easily, and you don't have to be jumping from very high for that to happen. But now let's switch to the trinket. This trinket gives you a little bit more landing durability and lets you actually do these jumps. I've tried to think of use cases for this one, but there just are none. Because if you dismount by falling down, then you can get back on the mount right away. If you would take no fall damage at all, then it would be actually useful. The final trinket is the Cavalier Crest, which increases the mount summoning speed. Let me show you first. Without the trinket, it's 3 seconds. It feels as if it would take ages to mount up. Now let's equip the trinket and let me show you the difference. You mount up twice as fast and definitely feel the difference. Personally, I think it's the best trinket out there. Those were all of the trinkets, and each one, as you saw, has their own benefits. Some more, some less. My suggestion is to go get yourself the Cavalier's Crest. So where can you get these 4 charms and 8 trinkets? Well, these can drop from certain mutated dungeons and from specific elite mobs and elite chests of specific areas. First things first, let's go over the charms. If the charm you want is from a mutated dungeon, then you need it to be on the current week's rotation. If it's not there, you have to wait a week or 2 to get the mutated dungeon you are looking for. If it's not mutated right now, I'll just show normal expedition. First off, the Magis mount charm. You can get this charm from the Lazarus Instrumentality dungeon when it's mutated. It has to be at least M1 or harder difficulty for it to drop, and it can drop from most enemies inside, and you can also get it from the chests in the end. The Strata mount charm you can get from Shattered Mountain, which is in a popular chest run location called Myrkgaard. You can often see it happening when people are typing in the recruitment chat plus Myrk. Then type it as well and then just join the raids. Here the Archmagister and the High Priest have a chance to drop the charm. It can also drop from the elite chests in this area, but those are on a daily cooldown. I wanted to farm this charm directly, so I made a group and farmed these 2 elites next to the big tower. They have a 6-minute respawn timer. Next we have the Solum Charm. You can get this from any dungeon when it's mutated. It has to be M1 or harder difficulty for it to drop, and it can drop from most enemies inside the dungeon as well, and you can also get it from the chests in the end of the dungeon. The powerful Redono charm you can get from Reekwater from the Siren stronghold elite area. I'll show you how to farm it solo, so we're going to teleport to Mountaineers shrine and walk to the location. I have sped up the video for time's sake. The powerful Redono charm can drop from elite chests within the stronghold if the chest is in the spire of Mountaineers area where we are right now. The Redono charm can also drop from 3 elite mobs: the Siren's Dog, which we just passed, the Siren's Brute, or the Siren's Fury, where we are headed right now. A passive way to get it would be to join a Siren's Elite chest run. You'll notice plus Siren in the recruitment chat when that happens. Just type plus Siren in the chat as well, and you'll probably get invited, and you can head over to the Siren's stronghold. To farm this mount charm solo, we're going to be focusing on Siren's Fury. She's an elite mob that anyone should be able to do solo, and it doesn't really matter if you enter this stronghold from upstairs like I did right now, or you come from downstairs. There are a couple methods you can do to farm Siren's Fury, but if you're hunting this with a group, then you can kill the Siren's Brute as well. So how do we farm her solo? We will start from this platform, but alternatively you can start from another place as well. We're heading there right now. If we head downstairs, there will be a spot where we need to stand. This place is important for 3 reasons. First of all, if you run down here, the mobs will lose aggro. Secondly, we are heading outside the spire of Mountaineers zone to let the Fury respawn. And thirdly, we'll be looking for an indication of when we should go back there again. If you see the textures change, that means that the area refreshed and the Fury has respawned. Then you go a little bit up, kill her, and then run down again. We're going to repeat this 2 times because it takes roughly 30 seconds for the Fury to respawn if there's nobody in the area, and then we'll go grab up the bags. Because if we would kill for a 4th time, then the first loot bag would disappear. You are looking at this area and you're waiting for the textures to change. Once they change, then that is your indication to go up and kill the Fury. What I believe is happening here is that the game checks if there are players in the area after a set amount of time and the mobs in it, and if there are no players in the area, then the game will just respawn the mobs there to refresh the area, so to say. Sometimes you'll have people run through the area that are coming from below, and that can disrupt the rhythm. And also there can be miners who come from above to mine the mithril around the small fort. Spawns can be also blocked by being under the spire where a salt water is, and if somebody does the login logout method, then that can also block the spawns, but we'll get to that in a little bit. By now we have killed it 3 times. Now what can happen is that the Siren's brute opens the door with his cannon for us and we can walk straight in. That would be the best for us, but sometimes he does not do that, so we have to take an alternative route from the side and go up that way to grab our loot bags. Can be a little bit tricky to get up sometimes, but you'll get the hang of it. Once you're up and grab the bags, then you can head down again and kill it another 3 times. Rinse and repeat. If you can get a group of like 5 to 10 people at least, then you can do the other 2 elites together as well. But let's check the solo login logout method. You kill it, loot it, log out for like 1 minute 30 seconds and then log back in. Remember that if you log out, then your character will still stay in the world for like a little bit over a minute, so you can't log in before that. If you log in too early or someone is in the area, then the Fury will not respawn. If it does, then this is the AFK way to do it. Those were all of the charms, but now let's check out all of the 8 trinkets. The first one is going to be the Powerful Cavalier Crest. You can get this from the Savage Divide dungeon when it's mutated, and it has to be at least M1 or harder difficulty for it to drop, and it can drop from most enemies inside the dungeon, or you can get it from the chests in the end. Next we have the Powerful Mountaineers Pendant. You can get this trinket by killing the Articulon, the Unshackled, who is located in Great Cleave, more specifically in Mangled Heights. Now there are 2 of these tentacles in Mangled Heights, but only one of them drops it, so the one we're going for is located in the Severed Visage area where we are right now. You can kill this solo if you stand behind a chest, and then you can comfortably AFK there without getting hit. This one is pretty easy to farm because once you kill it, it has about 1 minute 30 to respawn again, and you can just stand behind the crate as I said before and just chill here. You can absolutely AFK in peace. He will not be able to hit you if you're behind this crate. This one I think is the easiest one to farm out of all of them. Next up we have the Powerful Beast of Burden Bangle. You can get this trinket from the Forest dungeon when it's mutated. It has to be at least M1 or harder difficulty for it to drop, and it can drop from most enemies inside the dungeon, or you can get it from the chests in the end. Next up we have the Fortified Talisman, which drops in Heaven Scale at the Imperial Palace. It can drop from elite chests within Imperial Palace or one of the 6 named mobs. There are Menagerie Master Myrkgaard, who is usually right here where I am right now with his 6 tigers. Then once we go upstairs, there is the Palace Maiden and the Bear. These 2 you can pretty comfortably farm if you get a group together, and they have a 6-minute respawn timer. I was actively farming these mobs for 2 days, and once I got it, on the next chest run I got it from a chest, of course. Once you hop down from here, then you can find the Prince Redono. He's usually here, but he's already dead. And then there are 2 Palace Ritualists in the Imperial Palace as well. They look like this. One is here, and one is between Myrkgaard and the Palace Maiden. Next trinket on the list is the Powerful Cleansing Talisman. This trinket drops at Eden Grove at Life Rink. It can drop from elite chests within the Torso Riven, the area we're at right now. And you also have a chance to get it from the 3 bosses that spawn here: Abiogenesis, Malevolence, and Entropy. This is a popular spot for weapon XP farming, and the enemies spawn subsequently as the event in the area progresses, and once the event is finished there is a 6-minute timer after the Angry Earth waves start once again. Next up we have the Powerful Empowered Talisman. You can get this trinket from the Glacial Tarn dungeon when it's mutated. The dungeon has to be, again, at least M1 or harder difficulty for it to drop, and it can also drop from most enemies inside the dungeon, or you can get it from the chests in the end. Next we have the Powerful Healing Talisman. You can get this trinket from Brimstone Sands at Beds of Tabijet. The healing trinket can drop from glyph chests within the Scorpion's Nest area or from the Scorpion Queen herself. If you can get a group here together, you can farm the Scorpion Queen. She has a 6-minute respawn timer. Next up we have the Powerful Hasty Talisman. You can get this from the Barnacle and Black Powder dungeon when it's mutated. It has to be at least M1 or harder difficulty for it to drop, and it can drop from most enemies inside the dungeon, or you can get it from the chests in the end. And now the final thing, customizing your mount. Besides the buffs you can give your mount with the charm and the trinket slot, you can give it 2 mount attachments. You can also dye its armor and even name it. The attachments will be on each side of your mount, and you can put shields and other various items to make it look nicer. These can be as they are, or you can transmog them around, but you need some attachment equipped first to do that. Sometimes you'll see the attachment transmogs on the season pass, some you can get from the faction shop, and some come from drops around the world, or alternatively you can purchase them from the cash shop if you want to get something specific. In any case, you can have 2 of the same kind. So at the in-game store, these are under mounts, then mount attachments, and this is the selection for now. What a lot of people don't know is that you can name your mount and even dye its armor. To do that, you need to go to the in-game store under consumables and then mount dyes. For demonstration purposes, I will buy this Wraith Black to show how much it can change. Now, for some reason, it doesn't let me show you the full preview of the color at once, as it wants me to bind the dye, so I'll just show you one by one so you can get the general idea of how much it can change. As you can see, you can only color the mount armor, the saddles, stuff like that, so you are kind of limited to how much you can customize it, but if a dye exists that is the same color of your mount, then you will be able to have it in one color or at least very close to it. As a small little bonus, in the end, there are now 2 purchasable mounts in the trading post that can drop from the Isle of the Night raid. The drop chance is currently 1 in 200 for these, so we'll see them on the market soon enough. The mount trinkets and charms have the same drop rate, 1 in 200. This video ended up being much longer than I anticipated and it took a while to make, but I wanted to cover it all in one video. So if you made it this far, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and I'll see you in the next one.